Hey guys, I'm Jonas. Today we're going to be talking about how to adjust the carburetor on your Predator 670. Now if you guys haven't seen the first couple of videos on this build series, this is a 2007 Yamaha drive that we installed a Predator 670 in using the Vegas Carts conversion kit. So in the last video I talked about how this thing has a pretty bad hesitation when you first take off. So when you just start to hit the throttle pedal, it kind of falls on its face for a second and then takes off. So to fix that problem, I ordered the low profile carb kit from Performance670 to go on this engine. So after installing that low profile carb kit, we just never could get this thing to run right. I spent hours trying to tune this thing and just could never get it to idle right, and it didn't want to run at top speed right. So I ended up just going back to the stock carburetor. Now with the stock carburetor, it ran right through the whole RPM range other than that spot just coming off of idle when it had the hesitation. Now you guys need to understand that the way these 670s are built, they weren't really designed to run in a wide RPM range like that. These were really just designed to go on, lawn mowers and log splitters and stuff like that, where they would just get revved up to a certain RPM and then stay there. So it really shouldn't surprise you that it doesn't have the best throttle response, because that's not how it was really designed to run. So to fix my problem of having that hesitation just off of idle, I drilled out the caps that cover up the fuel screws on the carburetor. Now these come capped off from the factory because they really don't want you messing with them. Once you drill those caps out though, that gives you access to the fuel screw, which you're going to need to adjust to be able to get these engines to rev better. So after drilling those fuel screws out and reinstalling the carburetor back on the engine, after just a couple of minutes of tuning, I figured out that all we really needed to do was back those fuel screws out one full turn on each side. Once we did that, this thing revs up great on the bottom end and it runs perfect on the top end. So I'm very happy with how this thing ended up running. Now we've also adjusted the governor on this engine as well so that we could get a little more RPM out of it. We ended up putting a zip tie on the governor spring and adjusted the zip tie down to where this thing is revving to about 4,300 RPM. Now I feel like that's a pretty safe RPM range for these engines to be running in and not cause any long-term engine damage. So after reinstalling our stock carburetor and tuning it where the engine was running good and adjusting the governor to where I wanted it to rev to, we ended up getting this car to run consistently at about 35 miles an hour. Now we could tighten that governor down more, and we did see speeds up to about 40 miles an hour, but we were revving the engine close to 5,000 RPMs. And I just don't feel like that's a safe RPM range for this cart to run in for long periods of time. So since we're going to be selling this cart, we don't want it to rev that high to where somebody could potentially damage this engine. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. If you got some good value out of this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.